Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis, and this is another edition of What the Fugue, where I talk about what's going on with me in my world of comics for the week. Really not tons of news things that really affect me that I can think of that I've noticed going on this week. Something I'm really amped up and excited about. Of course, I occasionally keep talking about Emerald City Comic Con, the big comic book con that goes on in Seattle in March. It was just announced that Scott Snyder will be at the con. I'm pretty excited by that. Hope to get some books signed, and should be some really interesting panels then. You get the big writers like that at some of those panels. Maybe you can press them for some questions and find out some cool stuff, what's going on in the latest Batman stuff. And by March, we may be more closer to looking at the Man of Steel stuff, so maybe we'll have some cool Superman news out of that. So I'm looking forward to that. Trying to make this quick tonight. It's late. I just got done watching the Oregon Ducks beat Kansas State college football, for those who care or don't care. Anyway, pretty excited by that. That was a pretty good game. Let's see. What are some of the things I'll talk about? Oh, yeah. Of course, we all, a Ghost Critic said that, of course, it's tradition and proper to be buying yourself Christmas presents. So I did go and buy myself a Christmas present. I bought this here. It's called Graphic Canon. And this is number 1. I actually have number 2 here also. These things are massive. They're huge volumes. What Graphic Canon is it's World's Greatest Literature as Comics and Visuals is how it's titled. The Graphic Canon. And this one is from the Epic of Gilgamesh to Shakespeare to Dangerous Liaison. And it's got all kinds of artists in it. I mean, it's got Will Eisner, Robert Crumb, Molly Crabapple is in this one, and 50 some other artists. And I'd heard about these, and I kind of looked at them a little bit, and decided I wanted to get them. So I did. I ordered them right after Christmas when I didn't get them for Christmas. But it's really cool. Basically, what it is they don't obviously they don't do the entire the entire Epic of Gilgamesh, for instance. They take a sampling of it, and at the beginning of each part of these, I'm trying to flip one open here, like this one. This is the story of Coyote and the Pebbles. It's a Native American folktale. Story by Danton Edmonds, and art by Mike Ferretto. And it talks a little bit about the story itself down here. It gives you a little narrative about the story, where it is in literature and whatnot. And then, of course, it has, basically, sequential art. And it just has all kinds of stuff. Here's the Book of Revelations, beginning of the Book of Revelations, for instance. More of the Book of Revelations. Just different stuff. I've been really excited to get this. Drinking a little beneath the moon. Really excited to get this because it looks like it's going to be some awesome reading and just looking at some different some different stuff and whatnot. Like I said, love the sequential art. This falls under sequential art that is completely different. Fisherman and the Genie from the Arabian Nights. Just different styles of more of the Fisherman and the Genie. Anyway, pretty amped by this. Like I said, there are like over 100 stories in this thing, all different kinds of art styles. Here's Paradise Lost. Good old Milton. Anyway, that's that one, and number 2 here. This one's everything from Kubla Khan to the Bront sisters to the picture of Dorian Gray. It's got some Nietzsche in here, Huckleberry Finn, Hunting of the Snark. There's some pictures of Hunting of the Snark, Lewis Carroll. So this is a little more modern type story than the really ancient ones, but still obviously not really that modern. I mean, there's some Darwin stuff in here. Leaves of Grass, good old Walt Whitman. Wow, this. Talk about poetry and sequential art. I'm so stoked for that because, of course, if you bother to watch my channel, you know I like poetry too. So I mean, it's got some of my favorite parts of the Leaves of Grass. I believe where he's talking about the body electric and whatnot, and some of that. Actually, there's a couple different Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass in here, I think. Henry David Thoreau, Walden, Moby Dick. There's a picture of Moby Dick. Big Moby Dick fan too. Anyway, so in April, the third volume will come out of this. There's some Poe montages in here. They're just awesome too. You can really see that. Anyway, enough about that. Stoked to read those. Maybe I'll talk more about them when I actually get them read. But they're pretty cool. Relatively decent price on them, I think, from Amazon. But anyway, there's that. Pretty stoked to be reading that. Once I get my regular comics read, be doing that. Let's see what else. We're in the new year. This is the first What the Fugue of the new year. I talked a little bit about on the I don't know if it was the last or the time before last Comic Talk podcast. Talked a little bit about Howland Dockets, or maybe I've talked about that on here. Can't remember. He did a video. I'm sure I probably talked about this here. I'm not going to talk about it again. Basically, I did talk about this. I talked about this because I talked about the whole fact that the library doesn't carry trades, and the fact that that's how I'm going to start viewing things and whatnot. So never mind. I'm probably not going to edit this because, like I said, I'm in a hurry because it's really late. It's still playing in my head exactly what I want to collect and what I want to just read and how I'm going to figure out how to just read the stuff I want to read. Oh, and speaking of that kind of thing, I got a question. Does anybody know out there, how long do those Marvel digital codes last that are in the back of, that are in those comics? Like, let's say if I have, like, Avenging Spider-Man #1, for instance, I haven't done anything with that code that's in the back of the book. Is that still good? I mean, how long is it before those things expire, before Marvel takes them down or whatever? I have a whole bunch of them. I've hit 200 plus viewers right before Christmas, or subscribers, not viewers. I wish I had 200 people actually watching me all the time. I'd probably be nervous about what I was talking about. But at any rate, so I got 200 viewers. I don't know if I'll actually do a contest or not. There's a lot of contests going out right now, and so I don't want to be competing with other people's contests. And I also feel bad I haven't entered a lot of people's contests. In a lot of cases, it's just been hard for me to keep caught up with everything and keep caught up with the videos during the Christmas season to then try and turn around and get in everybody's contests. So hopefully nobody has any hard feelings about the fact that I'm not entering contests and whatnot, and whatever. But I've liked the ones I've seen. I like watching the responses and whatnot. I just haven't had time to jump on my own and whatnot. But I'm thinking about maybe doing a contest sometime down the road when everybody isn't hitting a contest and whatnot. And I've been kind of wanting to come up with something that's a little more of an interesting sort of prizes. I'm not going to go rushing out and necessarily buying a bunch of epic stuff and whatnot. But I've been thinking about if I was going to give prizes away, what are prizes that would uniquely represent the Oddfellow channel, whether that's me and Ethan, me and the disembodied voice, whatever. What would I want to give away? I have some doubled up comics and whatnot, that maybe I'll give up a run of Hellblazer. I do have extra singles of that, for instance, and some extras of Doom Patrol, things that are kind of me and what I collect and whatnot. But that's here or there. But I'm curious if anybody out there knows, anybody has an answer as to how long you can hold on to those codes and still use them. Let me know in the comments or whatever. I'd appreciate it, because that might be a fun thing to give out there. I know that people have been giving away. I've been hesitant to peel that little thing off the back of my comic books, and then it occurred to me, it doesn't really matter that much. I can't imagine that I'm really hanging on to any comics of any real serious value, and if they are of serious value, I can't imagine that's going to degrade the value that much, if it matters, because it's not going to tear the book up or something. At any rate, speaking of Marvel and the Avenging Spider-Man, for instance, I read, I'll do a proper review, but I read Avenging Spider-Man number 15.1, which is the first official, title where Octavius is Spider-Man, and written by Christopher Yost, I think it's Christopher Yost. You know what? I'm actually kind of intrigued. I think it's a shame that there's no, Peter Parker. I think that's, to a large degree, a mistake. Obviously, Peter Parker's going to come back, and there's no doubt about that. But it is kind of an intriguing story. The part of the story, at least in the Avenging Spider-Man, where he it comes to terms with the fact that despite the fact that Octavius thinks he's superior to Spider-Man and whatnot, he always lost. It finally occurs to him that, what, I may think I'm more brilliant and better than Peter Parker and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, he's still always lost. And it's kind of interesting coming to terms with. And what does that mean for him going forward? Yeah, kind of cool. I think that's it. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of earth-shaking type thing news-wise that had to do with me, other than Scott Snyder being at Emerald City Comic Con now also. This is looking like it's turning out to be a pretty awesome Emerald City Comic Con for me, as far as creators being there that are on my short list of people that I want to get to meet, talk to, sign books, whatever happens there and whatnot. So pretty excited about that. Anyway, that's it for this quick, maybe not so quick video. I will catch some of you today, depending on when this video gets uploaded, on the Friday Comic Talk podcast. Check us out. We have a lot of fun. We goof off a lot and say lots of dumb stuff, and occasionally even talk about comic books. Have a good one.